Welcome back, True Seeker. For more than a week now, we've been talking about the Masonic fingerprints on the death of Charlie Kirk, who, of course, was reportedly assassinated in Utah, the state that's associated with the Church of Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormons, a religion that was founded by the Freemason Joseph Smith, who was also assassinated back in 1844 in Illinois, not far from where Charlie Kirk was born. And remember, the day of his assassination, you had the slugger for the Cubs, Anthony Rizzo, retire, who went to Parkland, Florida, and was outspoken about gun control the day of the shooting. And we've talked about how Freemasonry, how it connects from religion to politics. Washington, D.C. is known as the Masonic City, named after the Freemason George Washington. To things like Jimmy Kimmel getting suspended, who broadcast from the Masonic Temple, and he got suspended on Constitution Day, where the main thing about the Constitution is free speech, and he was suspended for using his voice, just like Charlie Kirk was shot in the throat, a man who used his voice. And there were 3 arrests made, reminding of the Masonic lore of the 3 ruffians who kill Hiram Abiff, the master builder of Solomon's Temple, and they kill him with a wound to the throat. We've been talking about, again, just the Masonic fingerprints on all of this, and we've been talking about the number 58 in a huge way. And this morning, Friday, September 19th, this is Fox News' top story this morning. House passes resolution honoring life and legacy of Charlie Kirk with 58 Democratic no votes. 58, right? Again, if you've read my first book, Letters and Numbers, which I wrote in 2017, huge section on 58 and Freemasonry. And at the time, I was talking about why Trump announced from the 58-story Trump Tower to run for the 58th election. And from not long after that, I said why he'd become the first split-term president and win the election in 2024. And of course, he did. And he got 58% of the Electoral College this time around, whereas the first time around, he won the 58th election. And you know, he had the convention in LeBron Stadium, the new King James, who won the finals on the real King James's birthday. The real King James, who died at age 58, who has a Bible named after him. Charlie Kirk, a Bible guy, at least so he purported himself to be. But yeah, this comes right on the back of Jimmy Kimmel, who's seen now as part of the left. They're trying to really further this left-right divide, like Fox News, founded by Republican strategists. This morning, they have to emphasize 58 Democratic no votes. And I've been telling you guys this for a long time, that these votes in D.C. and the Masonic City are numerical. And remember, what is etched on the Masonic Temple in Washington, D.C.? It's etched all is number. All is number. When you guys come here and leave comments about, this numerology thing's just a part of it, Zach, I've never said it wasn't, but it's the biggest part of it. I mean, if this is a pie chart, it's 80% of the pie chart. This other stuff you're talking about makes up 20% at most. Again, the Masons etch all is number on the temple, the Pythagoras quote. And Pythagoras was very much in this study of letters and numbers. Pythagoras, the Greek, the New Testament written in Greek, Revelation 13:18, a Greek isopsephy riddle about how to calculate the number of the beast. Isopsephy was the Greek form of coding numbers into words. The Hebrew form is known as gematria. The English form is exactly what we're showing right here. This is the practice of coding numbers into words. I learned about this from the 1926 book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Manly P. Hall writes out one cipher for the English language and is the alphabetic order with numerology applied, meaning A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, up to Z is 26. But when you get to the double-digit letters, which starts with J, you use numerology. So J, the 10th letter, becomes 1 plus 0 is 1, so J is 1. K, the 11th letter, becomes 1 plus 1 is 2. L, the 12th letter, becomes 1 plus 2 is 3, so on. When you do that and add up these words, Freemasonry, it equates to 58. Freemasonry's secrets are in Solomon's Temple, which equates to 58. Remember, Trump is the apprentice. The first degree of Freemasonry is the entered apprentice. Trump announced for the 58th election that he was running for the 58-story Trump Tower. He beat Hillary, a woman. Women are not allowed in Freemasonry. Trump's only beaten women in elections. Think about that. Hillary's book, What Happened, about why she lost to Trump, equals 58. But yeah, Rosicrucian also 58. Again, King James was a Freemason and a Rosicrucian. They're related orders. Secret Society 58. The list does go on. Utah equals 58. Death penalty 58. Herod's Temple. Third Temple, they all equal 58. Don't forget Epstein files equals 58. Like Epstein died 58 days after Trump's birthday during Tisha B'Av to remember the destruction of the temples. Solomon's temple is connected to Hiram Abiff. If you missed my work on Hiram Abiff and the three ruffians who kill Hiram Abiff by a neck wound, the three ruffians equals 249. The country's 249 years old, and this killing of Charlie Kirk happened 249 days after the state of Utah's birthday. With regards to temples, the Mormons make the fanciest ones of the time. And don't forget, they have a location right next to the Vatican in recent years as well. But yeah, just think about how perfect this is. I mean, been educating about 58 in the Masonic rituals up and down and how this is all being done to divide us. Does Fox News not put the exclamation point on top this morning with the headline? Again, you guys, my work is getting taken down for hate speech. I'm not putting out any hate speech. I'm saying do not get fooled by the left and right divide. Let's have a real turning point, because all Charlie Kirk did was preach 30 years of Republican talking points to young people, trying to persuade more young people who are generally liberal and open-minded to be Republican hardliners, which definitely isn't what the country needs. The 21st century has been dominated by Republicanism. They were in power when 9/11 happened. They were in power when Cooties 19 happened. These things were used to usher in police surveillance states and strip us of rights and liberties. This is not the political party of freedom or anything good, really. And neither are the Democrats. This is not part of the left and right divide. I'm just saying it's a total illusion to think the Republicans are some great thing that are going to make the country better. Not to mention Donald Trump was a lifelong Democrat who runs on the highest degree of the Church of Satan, MAGA, and we know how that joke is because Obama told the joke at the White House Correspondents' Dinner on the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan with Trump in attendance that Trump would become number 45. That was April 30th, 2011. But yes, again, just to make sure we got it all here, Utah equals 58, death penalty 58, Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, secret society, all 58. Trump won the 58th election in 2016 after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower that Charlie Kirk's father helped build. Father equals 58. The story is the shooter was turned in by his father, who was formerly a minister. The father, the son, the religious component of this. Again, Trump got 58% of the Electoral College this time in the vote on November 5th, the anniversary of the Jesuits trying to assassinate the Freemason and Rosicrucian King James, who eventually died at 58. The Hiram Abiff angle, when Solomon's Temple equals 58. King Charles, who's a Freemason. Remember, King Charles was in the news for getting with his son the day of the Charlie Kirk killing. Charlie Sheen was being interviewed by Joe Rogan when the news broke, and they were talking about Platoon, about Vietnam, where the Viet Cong referred to as Charlies, and Vietnam was a civil war. The last King Charles in England oversaw the English Civil War. All this talk of civil war now. In 1860 and 1960, you got the elections of Lincoln and Kennedy, which led to assassinations. Lincoln, we saw the American Civil War. After Kennedy's killing, we went into Vietnam, a civil war. And all this chatter is civil war. 60 matters too, because Donald Trump equals 60, like Charlie Kirk. From the Trump assassination attempt to Kirk was 60 weeks and 4 days. And like I said, look out for November 9th, 60 days later, the anniversary of Trump being called president the first time back in 2016, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which is also the day that the wall did come down that divided East and West Germany, which also connects a bit to the idea of civil war and warring over different politics and religion. But yeah, Trump and Charles were just together 58 days before King Charles' birthday. That was on September 17th. Of course, the night before September 16th, I was on Clyde Lewis Ground Zero, did a national broadcast getting this information out there. I saw Brian of formerly High Impact Flicks did a thing on Candace Owens saying that she was a Mason of Turning Point USA. And then Brian watches my videos, but will never give any credit or help acknowledge. And he's like, some people are saying there's something Masonic about all this. It's just like it's just a joke, Brian. I mean, help get the knowledge out. What are you doing there? Just spinning your tires every day with the same 5 talking points that ignore the secret societies that run this place? It's a joke. But yeah, again, Jimmy Kimmel, who broadcast the Masonic Temple, suspended a span of 58 days from his 58th birthday. I mean, give me a break. And now this. So, honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Charlie James Kirk. For the record, his full name, Charles James Kirk, equals 107, like shooting. King Charles equals 107. Charlie Sheen equals 107. All of them were intertwined on the same day. Joe Rogan doing the interview, who tries to downplay this knowledge on his show like Bill Maher does, like Jimmy Kimmel does. Yeah. If you want to read the rest of this post, it is at my website, GematriaEffect.news, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. You know, imagine had the world supported yours truly's work in the way a Charlie Kirk has been supported. Of course, Charlie Kirk was supported by the political machine that has countless dollars behind it. But this is the work that will create the turning point in America. This knowledge that I've been putting out every day for over 12 years straight, this is the knowledge that could change the world for the better and help people see through the psychological operations rather than getting invested in them. And realize the way the machine works, which includes Google. They take down yours truly for hate speech when there's no hate speech, and they allow the real hate speech to stick up. There's videos with millions of views right now that are taking the right-wing perspective, targeting the left, and vice versa, the left targeting the right. This stuff's getting huge views. It's contributing to the chaos. It's contributing to exactly what the cabal wants, and it stays up. Me educating about this, hate speech. So, yeah, again, this work does need major support. If you're new here and can pledge $1 through the Patreon each month, it would add up. And I used to go out and speak. You know, we did a coast-to-coast tour back in 22, 3 years ago, and my financial support got cut directly in half for that. I got demonetized, just chaos. But, and again, I don't know where the people went after that. Anyway, the point is, this is the kind of stuff that needs to be out on college campuses, and I've spoken on college campuses plenty of times, and we've had some great conversations with young people. What Charlie Kirk was doing was just feeding the machine. What I do has the power to break the machine. I mean, if you've been sitting here the last week plus and watching me talk about the Masons in 58, and you see this morning and you were on the fence, hopefully you jump right off. For the guy who came over here the other day and said, Andrew Wilson's right, your work is totally, speculation, and everyone should be a skeptic of. Where you at today, buddy? Where you at today? You said that before the Jimmy Kimmel thing that was in the news, and now this. Where are you at? Are you still a skeptic? Are you still thinking this is all a coincidence? Because if you are, you're the problem. Work on your indoctrination. Work on the mind control you're under. Break out of it, because that's what everybody needs to do. All right, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share and who leaves a comment. All that stuff's supposed to help the algorithm. And we'll be back for the next one when the time calls for it. Take care, Truth Seeker.